My name is Chris Bintliff, and these are transmissions from Not Really Rocket Science, where we study the technology, techniques, learning, and lifestyle of the modern marketing engine. Apple Watch Hermès Series 6 is the continuation of a smart brand partnership, one that leverages loyalty or interest in one brand to benefit the other. From Hermès, Apple not only gets the credibility of a legitimate luxury brand, they can expand their portfolio of products to include the highest quality leather and craftsmanship. From Apple, Hermès is in the only conversation anybody is having about watches, period. Never mind smartwatches. I talk about this at length in my brand study and unboxing of the Apple Watch Hermès Series 4. Great brands understand the value of presentation, that simply accessing a product can be an experience, a payoff to the intrigue of uncovering layers, boxes within boxes within boxes. Unboxing Apple Watch Hermès is unique now among watches. The substantial trademark white plastic cases watches used to come in, or in the case of the Edition, complete with a leather-like charging base, have given way to clever but far less luxurious paper and cardboard. Apple Watch Hermès still has 2 boxes inside a larger box, all of it branded Hermès Orange, and inside those boxes, more envelopes and sleeves. The satisfying ritual of peeling apart layers of separation between you and the watch is intact. This is identical to Series 4 and Series 5 packaging, except for a small but important detail. The microfiber sleeve the watch used to be packaged in is now cardboard. 2 things are true about this at the same time. It's responsible, appropriate, necessary, and commendable that Apple is dramatically simplifying its packaging for materials that are better for the environment. And in the case of Hermès, I'm sad to see small details in the presentation go. For a premium watch identified with a luxury brand, a cardboard sleeve just feels inadequate. The most first world of first world problems. My watch is the 44mm silver stainless steel with the Noir Deployment Buckle. I'm not interested in wearing a leather strap every day that isn't deployment buckle. The fidgeting each morning with the buckle and the creasing of the leather would drive me nuts. The only Apple Watch Hermès band I've ever worn is the Fauve Barenia deployment clasp from Series 4, and I've genuinely enjoyed wearing it almost every day. I love how that strap has developed a patina, darkening from a light amber color to a deep chocolate, a kind of testament to the literal time I've shared with it. I'll still wear it, but will now make my daily driver this noir strap. Putting on the new strap, I appreciate how new and a bit stiff it felt, having to work a little harder to tuck the band into its loop. The buckle itself, like the lugs, is stainless steel, and I know from using my other deployment buckle strap for more than 2 years that it wears flawlessly. The finish stays bright and beautiful, and mechanically it behaves like it did the first time I felt its satisfying click against my wrist. Noticeable on the back of the Apple Watch itself is a new array of sensors for new and innovative blood oxygen detection and perhaps improved heart rate detection. It's subtle, but there's some Hermès branding there too. The silver stainless Hermès watches also come with an Hermès Orange sport band with subtle Hermès branding on the back side of the pin. I'll wear this for exercise, on hot days, or for a change of pace. Oh, and I replaced the Hermès Goliath bracelet in the rouge colorway I've worn every day, all day for a year, for one in the noir colorway to match the new watch, because accessories have got to be on point. Unwrap the bow to uncover the box inside which is the microfiber sleeve that encases the bracelet. That's how Hermès does it. WatchOS 7 updated the Hermès watches with a new circular face. I talked about that more in another video. It's a really nice face, though a circular face on a rectangular body might drive me nuts over time. With Series 5 and earlier, you could always access an orange color labeled Hermès with some of the other faces. But with watchOS 7, I noticed a lot more options to customize Apple faces with Hermes Orange. More exclusive benefits to the Hermes watch. I think it looks great with the new GMT face and the gradient and California faces, though if you can tell the difference between the Hermes Orange and Apricot, then you have a keener color sense than I do. I believe Apple Watch uses Qualcomm tech for the LTE modem, but I couldn't source anything specific. Whether an improvement in LTE, an unexpected benefit of the new ultra-wideband U1 chip, or just Apple generally tightening bolts, my first run with the watch showed improvements over Series 4 and Series 5 experiences. With Series 4, when I'd stream music or a podcast and would leave the umbrella of my home's Wi-Fi signal and enter LTE, communications would grind to a halt. I'd sometimes have to stop and tinker with my watch just to get things going again. It would usually happen again when leaving LTE and re-entering range of my home's Wi-Fi signal. Huge distraction. With Series 5, I noticed only a hiccup, a pause or brief noisy signal that told me I was about to start streaming over cellular. With Series 6, the handoff is seamless and completely clean. I actually smiled with relief when I reached the predictable spot not far from home when everything usually breaks down, to find zero interruption at all. Heart rate sensing might be improved too. With Series 5 and earlier, there would be a lag of sometimes several minutes where my heart rate wasn't being read by the watch. There was still a lag with Series 6, but it was much shorter. The new blood oxygen detection fits neatly with ECG and heart rate detection, and for a person like me who has reason to thoughtfully measure heart health, it's science fiction that I can access so much useful, critical even, information from something strapped around my wrist. It doesn't feel that long ago I strapped a big oblong Garmin 301 to my wrist for each run, wrapped a heart rate monitor around my chest, waited 3 to 5 minutes for satellites to find me, and then went on a run and hoped nothing flaked out. In those days, I also attached my iPod to some sleeve around my arm, wrangled the wires around me, and tried to enjoy music for a few minutes too. Even then, those felt like unbelievable conveniences, and they were. Now I can do all this and so much more with just Apple Watch, streaming and measuring and tracking and even guiding and alerting. A legitimate question is, why Hermes Apple Watch? Why spend extra money, in the case of the difference between a base model aluminum, several $100s more, on something that updates every year? Well, I talk a little more about putting the cost of Apple Watch Hermes in context at the end of a video I did in reviewing the Hermes Series 5. And in still another video, I talked about how really you don't need to update every year, and that these devices don't become obsolete as quickly as people sometimes think. But I think the answer to the question starts with its own question. Why Apple Watch at all? Most people don't care, want, or need Apple Watch. Well, none of us need Apple Watch, just like none of us need iPhone, even as we see the tremendous conveniences and advantages they afford us as nearly necessary. But for those that are interested in Apple Watch, probably 90% of them will be very satisfied with SE or Series 3, and a huge number of those will wear it occasionally, happily unaware and uninterested in its many features, but grateful for those that they do find useful. A smaller percentage of people will be most satisfied with Series 6 proper, largely because of its health and performance benefits. Consider me among those. Hardly anybody will be interested in Hermes, and nobody needs it. Like anything extraordinary, the higher trim level of a vehicle or the hotel room upgrade, everybody has their own reasons for why they enjoy the extra. Well, here's mine. For as amazing, seemingly essential and useful iPhone is, it's largely a thief. It steals from me, constantly demanding my attention, developing my worst impulses to avoid quiet or boredom to instead scroll mindlessly. New sleep capabilities in iOS 14 are designed to make the phone harder to use as one approaches bedtime because we can't be trusted to put the thing down and go to sleep. Screen time trackers tell us how much we're using our phones, like a Snickers bar alerting you to how many candy bars you've been eating. I celebrate iPhone, and I can't imagine life or especially work without it, but it's a contentious relationship for me, one that requires mindfulness and management. Apple Watch is a device that actually gives time back to me. I don't need to have multiple pieces of hardware connected through 4 different interfaces to enjoy its benefits on a run, or in life, or at work. It tracks activities in a way that, for me, are easy and useful. Messaging on it through Siri is just useful enough where I can get the basics done, but not so robust that I have conversations that are just not necessary. I can use the walkie-talkie to connect to my family or colleagues from another room or from across the country. And unlike iPhone, there's no seduction to open the unnecessary app, jump down the social media rabbit hole, get lost in links or recommendations. Apple Watch lets me do what I want to do with it, not what others want me to do. And I find that liberating. But I also find the technology itself, like so much tech around us, pretty sterile, even as it inspires and amazes. It's glass and steel, factory-made, precision crafted. It's humanizing to me to complement that with something other than artifice like silicone, organic textures and materials like leather. I have a rule that if there's something that I touch or that touches me for long periods of time, or that I rely on for comfort and performance, my office chair, desk surfaces, headphones, and certainly something strapped to my wrist from morning to bedtime or now maybe beyond with sleep tracking, that thing must be both as comfortable as possible but also be something I look forward to using. I don't want to have an ambivalent relationship with technology, especially when so much technology seems to want to have a predatory relationship with me. I want to own that relationship, be excited by it, and enjoy it as much as I can. I've found that Apple Watch Hermès helps me do that. And so I consider its higher cost on a per wear or per day basis in accomplishing that to be fair. So this is Apple Watch Series 6 Hermès, stainless steel with Noir Deployment Clasp Buckle. I think it feels fantastic. It looks great too, at least to me. I look forward to the band shaping to my wrist, developing a patina, quietly collecting the time I share with it and telling my story back in the unique way it shows wear. What do you think? I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and comment on transmissions from Not Really Rocket Science. Learn more at notreallyrocketscience.com.